Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast blood.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and I'm excited to introduce you to a special guest today. We got Tanner Hall, current BJJ black belt, representing Stout over here in Pittsburgh, man. So looking forward to letting the audience get to know you and adding value to some people together, man.
Appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate your time. So, let's start out, maybe give us a little background, on you. I know right now you got a 6-month-old son. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And how long you been married?
Just a year. Coming
Fresh.
up on a year, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it happened all real quick.
Rookie year. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I got, we believe when we trace it back, our first child, Sienna, had a girl first. Nice. And so Sienna Capri Arias, and that was because we think somewhere between Sienna and Capri in Italy is where we got right to work, too.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
But that's awesome, man. Congratulations to you. But, starting all the way back, give us a little bit of like who you are on your journey.
Brother, I promise I'm not going to hijack this podcast, but we can't say anything about me before we say congratulations to what I would probably think is top 5 accomplishments in your life. BJJ black belt, man. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
It's
what that takes.
It's an incredible accomplishment. I mean, it's 14 years.
14 plus.
That's.
And they get it from Isaac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he ain't just handing them out. No, so that's meaningful.
That's PhD. That's post grad. That's your residency. That's your fellowship, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
A lot
with
of work.
Everything else you have going on too, running a business, being a father, being a husband, man.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Even keel, the emotions, for me were like, man, obviously honored, but just this even keel feeling like, not much changes, other than a little bit more pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to get to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we all feel that little imposter syndrome. Like when I got my black belt, I was like, oh man, I need to learn more. Like, everybody's going to come to me looking for answers, and I may not have all of them. I better get studying. I better get more mat time in. But yeah, congratulations.
Thanks,
really,
man.
Really cool. Really
Appreciate you.
But so I grew up in Oil City, Pennsylvania, just up Route 8 here. Just a couple stoplights in the middle of the woods. Probably 5,000-6,000 people in that town. So it was good to grow up in a small town. And then get out of there. There's nothing good happening in Oil City anymore. Yeah. But, I went to college over in the College of Worcester in Ohio.
Yeah.
Played baseball over there.
I'm hip to Worcester.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, yeah, Youngstown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? You pass Worcester, I think, on the way to Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. So I played baseball over there.
All right. What'd you play?
I was a pitcher.
Pitcher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I won the game to take us to the national championship in 2009. And then
Worcester?
Yeah.
Sick, man.
And then we dropped 2 to St. Thomas.
Okay. Where's St. Thomas?
They're out of Wisconsin, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Great experience there. Great teammates. I graduated with an economics degree. And then got on board with a company called Lincoln Electric selling welding products and automation and stuff. And they sent me out to Connecticut. And a few years after being in Connecticut, that's when I started jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Yeah. You started in Connecticut?
Out there, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How'd you get introduced?
So I was doing CrossFit at the time. And I was like 282 pounds. That was the last number I looked at on the scale.
Okay.
So I joined this CrossFit gym.
Like yoked up 282 or like you were fat 282? Mixture?
I mean, I got a picture.
All right.
I got a before and after.
All right, we might have to put it up.
Yeah.
Josh, can we put it up if we get it? All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll give that over to you. No problem. Both. I mean, I had some muscle, but I was definitely fat.
All right.
And so the gym that the CrossFit box was at, the door on the right was CrossFit. That was CrossFit Thin Blue Line. And then the door on the left was Bushido Jiu Jitsu, Manchester, Connecticut, under Rob Magow. So my dad and my brother, those two guys are my heroes. We always watched UFC together. So I had an interest, but I go to CrossFit and kind of look in the window and see these guys rolling around. You know, Rob will come over. Hey, man, you got to try it out. You got to try it out. Okay, maybe. I don't know. One day, he had Matt Wheeler. Matt Wheeler's 4'0", 120 pounds, soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
He was a purple belt at the time. He also was a CrossFit trainer, so he was coaching class. He was like, hey, Tanner, come over. Let's like roll around a little bit. So I'm looking at 4'0", 120 pound Matt Wheeler, and I'm in my, 280 body.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, here's my shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I look at him, I go, dude, yes, of course I'll come over, but I'm going to crush you, man. Look, like I'm almost 3 times as big as you. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to test my skills, like playing real coy. So, slap, bump. In a 5-minute roll, he tapped me out 12 times. After 45 seconds, I was completely exhausted. And, it just completely flipped my world.
What the hell was that?
What the hell? This little kid?
Yeah,
this little dude, 120 pounds. What if he was my size? What if he was my size in a black belt? Man, I got to start learning this stuff.
Yeah.
So that day, right after we got done,
that's awesome.
Signed up for jiu-jitsu, stopped doing
awesome.
CrossFit, never looked back, man.
I had a it's a little dude. When I'm a little dude calling somebody else a little dude,
Yeah.
I had a little dude. That's how I got started.
Okay.
In jiu-jitsu. I was a guy that's still in our business.
Mm-hmm.
He's been, I think, 25 plus years in the business.
Nice.
And he was a purple belt at the time, I believe, when I met him. And he was telling me about, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And explaining it to me. And he was smaller. You know what I mean? And we're playing around a little bit. And I'm like, man, I gotta check it out. He's like, man, you'll love it. You got the mindset, what I mean, for it. And I just kept driving up and down. I was driving up and down 19 all the time. And I kept seeing this, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu gym.
Mm-hmm.
I kept passing it. You know what I mean? And so it just kept smacking me in the face. And finally, I'm like, you know what? Let's get it done. I'm going to have to get in shape anyway. I'm going to have to do cardio, and all that. I ain't going to let myself go. I might as well just put the time into something like that. So, the hardest belt to get is the white belt.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Walking in the door, intimidated, know what I mean?
Sure.
Going through. I could imagine how people feel because I was decently confident. I was an athlete, played college football, lifted weights, been in, scuffles, growing up, in Youngstown. So I wasn't, intimidated all the time.
Sure.
But just I remember walking in the door of all right, you got to pep talk yourself up here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is a real test.
Yeah.
Right?
And I got, just smashed the same way. And I'm like, man, this don't make no sense. This is crazy. How could somebody dominate you like this?
Especially when you are as confident as you are, and then it's time to face the music. You walk in, and then, you get drugged through the mud. That was the first time I was humbled. The second time, I rolled with Jessie Swanson is her name. She's a black belt now. She's a high-level competitor. Man, 30 seconds into our roll, she armbarred me.
A girl.
Yeah. I'm like, wait. Everything that I knew to be true just completely baffled me because it wasn't true anymore. I'm not supposed to get beat up by girls.
Right.
What? And then the next, 4.5 minutes of the roll, I'm trying to fight out of a triangle the entire time. It was humbling. It was a real blow to my ego, But also, it kind of cemented my belief in jiu-jitsu.
For sure.
Because it works. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, male, female, athletic or not. The mats don't lie.
Yep.
Yep.
And so now you mentioned your dad and your brother. Mm-hmm. Are you younger brother?
To him, yeah. So
Okay.
there's 4 of us.
Okay.
My brother Brandon, he's 4 years older. And
Okay.
I got 2 younger sisters.
He's my age.
Yeah.
42, maybe 41, 42.
41. Yep.
Okay. And so your brother, older brother, you said you got 2 younger sisters.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're kind of in the middle.
Upper middle.
With the youngest brother.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How about the girls? They got 2 older brothers. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
cool. That's the way the play's drawn up. You know what I mean? As a dad,
Yeah.
that's cool.
For sure.
I had my daughter first, you know,
Okay.
so I'm like, I got to stay in shape myself a
gonna
little
say,
bit
so that-
longer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so your dad, where's your family at now?
Yeah. So brother and his family, they're out in Philly.
Okay.
Just north of Philly. My dad and mom, they're up in Erie now. So
Okay.
I grew up in Oil City.
Yep.
You know, but
I went to Mercyhurst.
Oh, nice.
I know
So
all
did he.
about Erie.
So did he. Fun fact.
It's cold.
Constant.
That's a different level of
That's
snow.
not a fun fact.
That's
That's
a
just a
different
fact.
level of snow right there, up on 90.
So he played basketball and football at Mercyhurst.
All right.
And for one season, he played with Buster Douglas.
All right. Yep.
And so after Buster knocked out Mike, he called up my dad, and they went and like partied in Columbus in
That's
a limo and all that.
crazy.
Yeah. So I got a Buster Douglas autograph picture of him holding all 3 belts and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know recently, in the last year, somebody told me that Buster Douglas had went to Mercyhurst for a minute.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
never knew.
Yeah.
I never
played
knew.
basketball too.
That's
I
crazy.
remember the picture my dad showed me. He's like, "There's Buster."
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your dad went to Mercyhurst.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
athletic family. I played football, basketball, and then lifted through high school.
Okay.
My brother played D1 ball out at Lafayette. Yeah, he went there. He went there as a quarterback.
Football.
Then but then got like huge in the weight room.
Yep.
And they put him at tight end.
That's
so he played
sweet.
tight end the rest of the year.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks get transitioned a decent amount to tight end sometimes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the journey, you get introduced in Connecticut, and then how long did that go? How'd you get back to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, man. Jiu-Jitsu found me at the perfect time in my life. I was just going through a divorce, kind of feeling a little purposeless, like I needed something to connect to hold on to. CrossFit was cool, but it wasn't really cutting it. Found Jiu-Jitsu, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This fills my cup. Like I'm trying to train as many times as I can per week, like 8-10 times per week. After I got divorced, I moved to Pittsburgh. So my cousin was here. He's like, let's get you closer to family, because I was kind of out there on an island. So moved back here. And then I remember when I moved back, I went to a bunch of different gyms in the area, and Mike Wilkins, the general at our gym, I remember he's sitting on the bench. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go. I think I went to like an open mat, and I was like, I'm going to go check out some other gyms. He's like, yeah, man, go check out the other gyms for sure. Get all the information you need. We're not going anywhere. And I think that's kind of a little unique to Pittsburgh that we do all this cross training and that we're friendly with all the other gyms.
Old school. It's
Yeah.
really old school.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah, right?
Old school.
What do they call you? A creonch?
Old school. They don't like that.
No, not at all.
It's evolved.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
evolved, man.
That's how jiu-jitsu
And there's such a
evolves.
good community here in Pittsburgh where most, not all,
Yeah.
are like that, but most are like, yeah, they're all open to
For
that. I
sure.
think it's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this place in the back of my mind. So again, I went to 3 or 4 in the area, ended up at Stout, and it has just been completely life-changing. Like, I became a man, I got confident, I got humbled. There's always somebody who's better than you in those rooms
All the time.
So
And that's
you're
what
at the
you
right
want.
place. Yeah.
That's how I got to the mat back.
Yeah. Bunch of dogs out there.
Like
man.
I want
Hammer Squad.
to have a bunch of people that are better than me.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
grow me.
the
You know what I
like-minded
mean?
individuals
Yeah.
trying to get each other better.
No doubt.
You know?
And so what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you faced in adversities, and, you know, how have you dealt with some of those things? You mentioned a divorce, you know, maybe on and off the mat.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges, and like, how have you been able to overcome some of them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, I was fat when I started, so 282. I had to overcome a big belly. You know what I mean? So, but it was easy because I had something that I wanted to get really good at. And in order to get really good at that, I knew I had to lose a big belly. I knew I had to put the time in. I knew I had to figure out my diet. So like that was, you know, a physical adversity. But man, sports imitates life. You know, everything that you learn on the mat, you can apply to your life. Patience, being calm in a storm, you know, working at something, doing something hard and showing up day in and day out when you don't want to train, you know, when you don't want to go make that next sales call, when you don't want to go take that next meeting, but actually showing up, doing what you say you're going to do. Like it really cements, I mean, I called it being a man, but just being a good person, you know?
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
For sure.
What do you think,
sure.
you know, if looking now, how long you been training?
12 years.
Anything you look back and say, my first year, my second year, you know, I wish I would have known this, you know, I would have applied this earlier, you know, wish I would have known that at that point?
Yeah. So standing in these shoes as a black belt and trying to put myself back in like my white or blue belt shoes, I'd say, and again, sports imitates life, like fundamentals. You're going to use fundamentals throughout your entire training career. And the same thing like
Life.
at work and life. Yeah.
Yep, no doubt. And the
Stick to the
fundamentals aren't
basics.
fun.
No.
That's what I always tell people. It's like, man, the fundamentals ain't fun.
Nah.
Flying armbar, that stuff's, you know, that could be cool.
It's
To
flashy.
alley-oop, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the dribbling,
Right.
you know, the repetition of getting your hips turned around and swinging a bat, you know what I mean? Or a
Look at
golf
all
club, or, you know, whatever it is. The fundamentals,
Absolutely.
grinding it out on the fundamentals isn't as much fun,
And like-
but it's always the thing that'll take you to the next level.
And as you grow and get, you know, higher belt ranks and more experience, you can kind of pull away from going to fundamentals classes. So if you haven't been there for a while and you go back, you're going to pick something up. Even if it's that little minute detail that could definitely change how you are in that position or you know, turning a defensive position into an offensive position. Like you might pick something up that will change your game at a fundamentals class. So like revisiting the fundamentals is key as well.
Staying on the fundamentals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can do your barambolos and your flying arm bars and triangles and all that, but I mean, that's only going to take you so far.
Hardest belt to achieve. You know, we talked a little bit about it, but do you agree with that? What would you say is the hardest belt?
I totally agree.
White belt?
That it is white belt. A hard one for me was purple belt. So I came to Pittsburgh as a 4-stripe blue belt and then stayed a 4-stripe blue belt for 4 years. You know, I had to prove my worth here. Warren, much like Isaac, doesn't just give out belts.
Yep.
So, you know, you got to prove your worth. And, you know, it's tough. 2.5 years in, sitting here going, well, I can beat some purple belts and, you know, when's it my time? And then going to belt promotion after belt promotion and not hearing your name calling, you know. Again, it's like when you're looking for a promotion in the real world and you don't get it. Like, how do you deal with
How do you
that?
respond?
Do you know,
quit?
Do you quit? You go look for another job, or do you
Find
show
an easy
up?
route?
Yeah.
Find an easier gym?
Yeah.
Go straight to Brown.
There's plenty.
You know what I mean? Probably could have went straight to Brown.
Yeah. There's plenty of gyms that'll go out and give you a belt.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
You probably have to pay for it too, like monetarily.
Right.
There's a red flag.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, so how do you show up? Well, you just do that. Just show up. Just keep walking through the door, right? If you just keep walking through that door for 10 years,
good things will happen.
oh, great things will happen.
Right.
Life-changing.
Right.
I mean, I'm looking to.
You got to love the process.
Have
You can't
to.
chase a reward.
You have
chase
to.
a belt,
Nah,
right? What is
'cause-
that even anyway?
No,
right? We
it's
all
nothing.
know, you know, purple belts catching black belts, and you know, purple belts that are just as good, and you know, different areas. It's just like the belt don't even really. That can't be it.
No.
That can't be what you're gunning for. The trophy.
Yeah.
It'll all come.
And then once you make it the black belt,
Start all over.
start
White belt.
Yeah. Now you learn jiu-jitsu
Whole
on
new
the other
level.
side.
Yeah, whole new level.
It is. And there's such a disparity between like the lowest level black belt and then G.R.I.N.?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
There's levels
Could
to
be a whole
that.
new belt system.
Oh man,
Right?
System
Could be a whole
For
new belt
sure.
system.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I could. There's definitely a case.
Yep.
To get your white belt right after you get your black belt.
Yes.
For sure.
Come on. That's
For sure.
fire right there. And so, you know, what do you think for somebody to keep going, you know, in the white belt phase?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what tips would you give them? Like, I remember me, I'm like, you know, younger, you know, in my 20s, not younger, but late 20s, ego. And I'm like talking myself into like, I know I'm going to go get smashed here today, you know, face on the mat, nice, good shoulder pressure. I was in the gi a lot. Now I don't really do a ton of the gi, but I was in the
picture
gi
of
a
young
ton.
Simon in the gi.
In the
It
gi,
was good.
you know, I had a bunch of baggy gis, and one of my friends, I tried to get him into jiu-jitsu. He's 6'5", and he's like, you know, we always talk back to the first time that I got him to come to a class. He's like, you know, the gis didn't fit me. I came out of the bathroom. You know, everybody's laughing at me. They were like, I was the opposite. You know what I'm saying? The fresh gis were they were all baggy. I had to roll myself up. You know what I mean? They didn't make the short, stubby gis. And you know, I look back and I'm like, man, I got freaking gi burn, mat burn, you know, all on my face. And I'm getting beat up, you know, by people and, you know, humbled, you know what I mean, a lot. And, you know, how do you keep showing up? How do you keep going through that process?
Yeah, man, you gotta make a commitment to yourself, and you gotta do what you say you're gonna do, and have that conversation with yourself. That's the most important person in the equation is you, right? So maybe you can only make it to the gym twice a week or 3 times a week, but make it to the gym twice a week or 3 times a week. Do what you say you're gonna do. I mean, I'm gonna go back and forth with jiu-jitsu and life because it's all the same stuff.
Yep.
It's all the same stuff. It's like falling in love for the first time or falling in love again, right? You're going to go through your honeymoon phase, and then, you know, your shimmer's going to dull out a little bit. So how do you react in those situations?
I was talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Keep going there.
Yeah. I mean, look, do what you say you're going to do. You know,
You go
You
through a
see-
honeymoon stage,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you can get into a phase where it's not honeymoon stage.
exactly.
What do you do in that moment?
Well, you can look around the room and go, oh, well, that guy did it, so can I. That guy did it, so can I. That gal was doing it, so can I.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Come
And
on. This
you-
is the same
yeah.
stuff. I was just going over this when I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I was talking
Nice.
about.
Yeah.
Finding somebody else out there
Absolutely.
and reminding yourself that if they could do it, so can I.
Absolutely.
Yes, facts.
Nobody's special, man.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's special. No, nobody. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Simon Arias. Nobody's special. Man, everybody can do what you do. It's just a choice and a commitment and a promise to yourself that you're going to set goals and you're going to achieve those goals. Now, things that'll help you along the way, the jiu-jitsu community is amazing, right? So you're going to go to a place where all your favorite people are. That helps. Set the goals. I want to make it at least to blue belt, right? Or if it's like really, really dying down for you, just show up one more time. One more time. One more time. You can do anything once.
Right.
Just keep on doing one thing.
I found
over
the
and
growth
over.
point for me was like 3. 3 a week, I felt like I was growing.
Yeah.
Less than 3 a week, I felt like I watched myself not grow as much in that phase, and I watched other people grow. So I created at that phase like a rule for myself that I'm not going to go a week without at least training 3 times, no matter what it takes.
Yeah.
If I'm traveling, you know, I got to find a gym, you know, whatever. I got to find a way.
That's some of the best training.
The minimum
too.
is the 3.
Visiting other gyms. That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yep.
But yeah, I could agree with that for sure. 3 is where you're going to find growth. But if it's not 3, do whatever. Commit to something.
Yep.
And like, if you can commit to going in and, you know, getting, again, drugged through the mud, really getting crushed, and you can come back and do that week after week, month after month, year after year, that's going to translate off the mat as well.
That's life.
100%.
You're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's going to be stretches where you're going to get your ass
Season.
kicked. Yeah, for sure.
Season. I've had a few of those.
Yeah.
You know, I think I just got out of, you know, I'm kind of was in one of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're comfortable being uncomfortable.
You have to.
We ain't breaking. We're gonna get better. We're gonna control what we can control. We're gonna keep showing up. You know what I mean? And just trusting in the process. And
keep
one step at a time. Right? Sometimes you get jacked up, right? And it's like, all right, it's not one big sweep that gets me out of this. It's a bump. Now I make my position a little bit better.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then a bump, then my position's a little bit better.
For sure.
You know, and it might be 3-4 steps that you got to rewind to get to the position that you want to be and kind of grind it out.
How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Thank you.
Just told my kids that the other day on the way to school.
Dad, I don't like elephants.
Yeah. They were like, what? First time they ever heard it. You know, they're like, what? Both of them?
Yeah.
I got your attention?
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
For sure.
So the videos, man, you know, you've been killing it on the social media videos.
Thank you.
I love it, man.
They're fun to do.
So what got you into doing that? You know, some of these things have gone viral, you know, kind of tell us about that. I feel like that's a newer thing.
It is.
For you.
It is. I mean, 6 months ago, I had 2,000 followers. Now I think I just crossed over like 33,000.
That's crazy.
I appreciate that. It's not that crazy. Because I've committed. I'm going to post 1 video a day. You know how easy that is? Mm-hmm. I go and I record a month's worth.
Got to be cool, though.
In one day. It's
content is cool. And the delivery of it, the words, you know, the way you got the words coming up, it looks sweet.
And like, you know, it's cool when you see that you're making an impact and you get like a little, you know, your core following and they're always commenting and like you have these little interactions with people in Australia that you've never met. But, you know, hey, go and try that omoplata that I showed. Let me know how it goes. They'll go, oh, coach, I just hit this. Like that's the cool part.
Yeah.
You know, when you're
gratifying.
actually, yeah. When you're helping other people. I mean, that, again, jiu-jitsu, life, that's what it's all about. Helping other people.
Facts.
Helping other people. But I was rolling with a white belt, Amir, who moved down to Miami. Come on, Amir. You got to get back here.
I got an Amir in Florida, too.
Oh, nice.
He's a leader, too. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, man, you know, you got to be a good example for other people because in your name it says Amir.
Oh,
you are a mirror.
Man.
Right? The reflection that you see, you know, in the mirror, it's all you versus you, but then other people are also looking at you.
Man, that's so simple and so profound at the same time. I love that stuff. I love that. That's awesome. Amir. I'm gonna have to tell my Amir that. But yeah, I was rolling with him. Then, you know, we started following each other on Instagram, and he's got like 55,000 followers. So at the end of a roll, I was like, hey, man, what a following you have. He's like, oh, yeah, man. I just started and had a few videos go viral and just kind of post consistently. I was like, cool. Well, I do this real estate thing, and I'd love to do videos for jiu-jitsu. He's like, I think we could really help somebody else or somebody go big in the jiu-jitsu space on social media. And, you know, he sat down with me. He's a 25, 26-year-old kid, like super professional, sat down, had meetings, built out a plan. This is how many times we're going to post. This is what we're going to post. Here are the hooks that you should use. And just kind of following his lead with that. You know, buying into his strategy, and it's just, you know,
that's great, man. That's huge. It's one thing when you got, you know, something or someone that can film you.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like to me the guy was giving you a little bit of direction.
Oh, for sure.
Like a producer.
For
a producer
sure.
brain. You know what I mean? Like Dre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Man, that's a difference when you're a producer versus just, all right, you do your thing and I'm going to just film that versus,
Right.
no, I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this movie on. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
could be the star of the show, but I'm going to put this movie on and here's what you do. This is how we're going to put this together.
It's the best of both worlds because he's a subject matter expert for social media and how to run your social media and your content and your delivery and all that. And I'm the subject matter expert in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So like you bring us together, great things are ultimately gonna happen.
Yep.
And
You still doing the real estate stuff?
oh yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that was the first time I met you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At one of my
your-
youth program
Yes.
fundraising functions.
Yeah. When my broker Jesse, he won that Rolex that
Yes.
one year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse Wigg, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable event, man. I commend you. It's incredible
Thank you.
to have such an impact. Steel City Impact,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
To have such
I was
an
there
impact,
yesterday.
It's amazing.
I was there yesterday.
On the kids too, especially like underprivileged kids. Unbelievable. And having a leader like you to show them the way and to show them possibilities. I mean, you grew up in Youngstown, right?
Yep.
And you know, you came up from Youngstown,
Yep.
and just had this hockey stick growth through hard work, through keeping promises to yourself, through being a true leader and helping other people, and to show those kids those core values, and then being in the Steel City Impact room with all of your other friends. I think it's so cool. At the end of the event, you're like, all right, we're just doing donations. Pop them up on a screen. Let's go. And there was just an incredible amount of donations made that night. But I just, hats off to you for creating that, for helping out the youth.
It takes a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not even to me, the real leader is the person on site, you know, doing it. Her name's Tyra Grant.
Okay.
And, man, I walked
Shout out to Tyra.
I walked in yesterday and she was a D1 athlete, played Penn State basketball. And, she had a lady that was teaching our kids about food and nutrition and how to read the labels. And we did apples, beets, what was it? Apples, beets, carrots. And she brought a juicer in and juiced it all, and everybody got to taste it. And, you know, kids ain't having beets all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And did they like it? Most of them liked it. More of them liked it than didn't like it.
Yeah.
And she got into this whole in-depth education, you know, on food nutrition and what it does, you know, for your body. And I thought it was super amazing for them to get exposed to that at such a young age. I didn't have that education, you know,
Man,
at that
that's
age.
what I was gonna say. I don't have
they're
it.
already getting that level of education.
That is incredible that she's taking the time to do that and educate those kids. But at the same time, why isn't that in our education system? Like, why aren't we teaching kids how to be healthy, how to be financially responsible, how to
Both
be a
of
good
those
human?
things.
Yeah.
Huge.
You know,
Huge.
I mean, you'd think that would be just baseline fundamentals level class.
Right. No doubt. More important than some of those other things. We could build upon those things. Those are important.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals,
Yeah.
that foundation,
Yeah,
if
for
we don't
sure.
got that, these things don't matter.
It's scary now that, 6 months ago, my son was born. We're already looking at schools to go to and all that. And it's a little scary.
It's going to be a great
daunting.
journey, man. It's going to be
Yeah.
a cool. I'm looking forward to seeing you grow through that journey because it's a game changer.
Man.
You already know, but it just new levels. You know, every year, it's just a new level and different. Then when you start adding multiple,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole new level of blessings and love and challenges.
Blessings, man, for sure.
And, all
For
of that stuff.
It's obviously life changing because you brought a life into this world. But as soon as I saw my son was born, like nothing that I did mattered anymore. And I look back and I reflect and things that bother me. Why would I even waste my time on that stuff? Mm-hmm. It didn't become about me anymore. It's given me so much motivation. And ungodly amount of motivation.
What'd you name him?
August. Yeah.
Why?
Augie.
That's cool. I like it.
Appreciate that.
I like
yeah.
it.
So my wife and I, we were down in Aruba. We thought we were going to have a girl. We didn't find out.
Never been to Aruba. I heard good things about Aruba.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. I've been to like Nepal and India.
Okay.
And those are the places I'd rather go to.
All right.
Like I want to go be the minority in some of these parts of the world and like really get cultured and schooled
What's your
up.
favorite place?
I mean, it has to be Nepal because that was the first time. I mean, I literally threw a dart at the at the map on the wall, and I was like, I'm going there.
Where's Nepal?
So you got India here.
Okay.
Nepal is this little area to the northeast of India.
Okay.
It borders it in China.
And you liked it?
Loved it.
Wow.
The people are amazing.
Wow.
So I can look back, and I'm still learning life lessons from that trip. It was the first time I've ever been on an international trip. It's the first time I've been on a solo trip. The first time I was gone longer than like a week. I went there for a month.
Why?
Kind of at a crossroads in my life, divorced with no real good relationship, really wanted kids. Was kind of just struggling a little bit, you know. Just needed
So
to.
let's go to Nepal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had coffee with my
Vegas,
buddy,
maybe. You know what I'm saying? But my dude went to Nepal. I'm gonna go here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went the complete opposite of Sin City, that's for sure. So
That's good.
Yeah, my buddy Alec Rieger, he's like my big brother. He is a black belt in life wisdom, and you know, kind of jumping around here, but if you're struggling being a white belt, go find a mentor. You know,
Gotta have mentors.
Gotta have mentors. Yeah.
When you were talking about my, journey, I'm thinking, man, that's only because I had some really good mentors, man.
Yeah. Great ones, right?
Yeah. It matters.
Just the best.
You know
Oh, yeah, it does.
It matters.
Well, because they've already done it. You don't got to go reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Like just follow in their footsteps. They got it. So I had coffee with him. I was like, man, I think I just need to go somewhere. He's like, yeah, man, go to Nepal. I was like, what? Where's that? Same thing. He's like, just go for a month. You're going to want to come back after a couple weeks. Stay out there. So I did. I booked, my departure and arrival flights, and it was 30 days apart. And I booked 3 nights in a hostel in Kathmandu, and then left everything else open-ended. And it was the most extraordinary journey of my life. So I asked
You're losing me, and I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
No, just because there might be, because you attract. It's like I did get educated at Mercyhurst, but I am also from Youngstown, the fundamentals. So Kathmandu.
Yeah.
Only thing I know about that is like,
Kathmandu.
like Catman do this. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what that is, or a hostel. And I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
right?
no,
All right.
no.
I do have a business degree.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not embarrassing any of our
No, it's all
Mercyhurst
good.
alumni out there. But
Kathmandu's
educate me.
Kathmandu's capital of Nepal.
Okay.
It's their biggest city.
Okay.
And a hostel, man, you pay like $5 a night, and you got other tourists, backpackers, trekkers.
Okay.
Kind of in like a dormitory
All right.
type deal. Which sounds like, oh man, like my stuff's not locked up. Like I'm gonna get raided. No, man, it ain't like that. Those people are the coolest people from all around the world, just trying to have a good time, just like you are. So yeah, booked 3 nights in a $5 a night hostel with 12 other people in the room full of bunk beds, and I just asked the hostel manager, like, hey, what should I do? He's like, oh, you need to go up to Pokhara. Like, Pokhara? No, Pokhara. I was like, okay. Well, where's that? It's like, it's an 8-hour bus ride away. All right. So, took an 8-hour bus ride up to Pokhara. And we got roads and highways here. You're literally...
Dirt road?
Oh, dirt road on the side of a mountain. Like Mount Everest is out there, right? So it's the Himalayas. So it's one road that barely fits a bus, and you got 2-lane traffic.
Oh.
No guide rails at all. So you look out the window of the bus and you're like, oh, that's 5,000 feet to my death. You shut the curtain, try to go to sleep, finally make it to Pocono.
That ain't how we're supposed to go out.
Yeah, no.
Kathmandu.
No, man. No. But it was, again, got out to Pocono, asked the hostel manager, what should I do? He's like, take a trek. Took a 10-day trek through the Himalayas. The experience that I'm drawn from the most in my life was when I'm trekking up this mountain, and I'm kind of like feeling bad about myself, feeling sorry for myself, like just a little weak-minded. I had a guide. The guide spoke maybe 20 words of English, so I didn't really have too much communication with him. He wasn't telling me where we were going. He just like took off. He was kind of walking in my path, so I was a little pissed off. So I'm just like hiking, and dude, I'm like decked out in Salomon boots and Arc'teryx gear and like really, really nice trekking stuff. Well, here comes a little old lady. She's got this strap around her forehead to a pack on her back that's full of wood. Firewood. She's in this little white gown with flip-flops on. She's trekking. I see her. She just goes and smokes me up the mountain. I'm like, shit, my life ain't that bad. Like if this lady is happy that she's doing manual labor.
I'm thinking, man, she got a strong neck, too.
Man, yeah, call her, tie her for days. Yeah. But if they can be happy and have a fraction of what we have over here, like happiness is in here. It ain't out there,
100%.
So go find your happiness. Be grateful for what you have.
Yes.
I think I've gotten caught up in that in my life too, kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Well, he's got a truck. I got to get a truck. He's got a watch. I got to get a watch.
No doubt.
When like
shit don't matter.
No, that shine goes away after 2 weeks.
Yeah,
doesn't matter
doubt.
at all. No, but what matters is, the time I spent playing basketball with the kids, on the basketball court in Nepal, when literally they don't have shoes on and they're playing basketball and stepping in donkey shit, and not caring, having the time of their lives. And having some American, and I clearly tower over these kids, just spending time with them and seeing how happy they were to just interact with somebody. Like,
great perspective.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 2017. 2017.
8 years?
So yeah.
When did you meet your wife?
2 years ago, actually.
Okay.
Man.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So went out. I met her at a mutual friend's birthday party. I shook her hand, didn't say another word to her the rest of the night, and it was electric. It was like, oh, I found home. So I peppered her DMs on Instagram.
Nice.
She was like,
See, DM, social media recruiting. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
Yeah, man.
That was before you had all these followers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's the greatest person I've ever met. I wouldn't want anybody else to be the mother to my children. She motivates me. She believes in me. Like she's just.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's the best. She's the best.
From Pittsburgh?
So she's from Pittsburgh. Went to North Allegheny.
N.A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's from Wexford.
Shout out to the Tigers.
Yeah, that's right.
I got my son doing a little wrestling, and he wrestles for the N.A. Tigers program. He's 7.
I'm like keeping an eye on your parenting and everything. I'm like, I that's what I got to do.
Should have seen it yesterday, man. I get in the house, and long day of work, and date night was last night. That's another thing that I've tried to stay focused on. I got 10 years.
Are Wednesday nights date night or just planned date nights?
Yep, just planned.
Yeah.
But just 10 years married.
Mm-hmm.
Be 11 years in a couple months, 16 years.
Congratulations.
With the same woman.
It's amazing.
Never veered. And I got that game, from other mentors of like keeping that date night. You could kind of lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You get kids and, you lose focus on yourself. And that can affect the kids because you love the kids so much. You put so much time and energy into the kids. But if you forget about us and we fall apart, what's that do to the kids that you love so much, right? You got to put that time and that work in. And that. So we were, I was excited and had to come home and get changed. I came from the youth program, getting changed to go. And I get in and I see my son out there, who's a good kid. His son out there took his brother's bike, a 4-year-old's bike, and was out in the mud, driving in the area. We don't have grass yet because we just moved. And my wife's like, hey, you got to stop that, take his bike. He's bawling and crying, and my wife is so strong. She's an athlete in like type A,
nice.
I met my match, you know what I mean? But when it comes to the boys, she's soft. She's soft. She says I'm the same way with my daughter. You know what I mean? So
I think
she says
natural.
she won't admit it. You know what I mean? But I mean that she can't be her normal self with them boys. You know what I mean? So she's like, he ain't listening to her. She knows. He knows. She'll give him 5-6 shots. You know what I mean? Before and I don't give 5-6 shots. And so I'm like, I'm watching this. I walk outside and I'm like, hey, you got 30 seconds. I'm not going to ask you again. You got 30 seconds to get the bike back. Over here, mommy told you multiple times.
Nice.
I feel like he's like, how do I use up all 30 seconds to make this close? You know what I'm saying?
He's 9? How old is
7.
he? 7.
Yeah. So he's like, his strategy in his mind, I could tell, was like to make it right in at like 28 seconds, 29 seconds, just to mess with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know, man, you do what you want. Take your time. I don't care if you do or you don't, but if you don't, it's going to be consequences, right? So his plan backfired. He goes to turn the thing back. I'm like, you got 10 seconds. He falls off the bike. The bike don't make it back, right? And I try to not really have to put my hands on him very often. I mean, I can count on maybe a finger or two the times I've had to like snatch him up or give him a little awakening.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, how am I going to handle this? I didn't have a plan for what I was going to do. You know what I mean? But I knew I was going to do something, so he comes back and I'm like, all right, I ain't going to spank him. I ain't going to snatch him up. What I'm going to do, wall sits, 3 minutes. Wall sits, my dude. That's what you got yourself. So, and if you drop, I'm adding a minute. So get on it, man. He ripped off 3 minutes crying. You know what I mean? Crying. Yeah. I'm thinking, shit, I don't know if daddy could pull off 3 minutes. I got to go practice in case he tells me you got to do them with me. You know what I mean? And then the little one that started it all, he was doing the wall sits with him because he wants to do everything that his brother does. You know what I mean? So now he's doing the wall sits.
So his brother's crying doing wall sits. He's over there.
Yes. So, but that was my parenting lesson for today. What would you say, as a mentor, for others in jiu-jitsu, what would you say are some of the traits of the people that get the best over time? Is there anything that you could find, that has some commonality to it? There's always things that are different because people are different, but is there any commonality to?
Yeah. You got to crush your ego, man. You cannot have an ego. You cannot come into the room expecting to get better, but thinking that you know everything. You have to be a student.
Coachability.
You have to be coachable.
Now, this is life, right?
Sports imitates life. It's exactly right. In anything that you do, you have to get more knowledge. And there's so much more knowledge out there than you'll ever be able to gain. So that you always have to learn, right? So and there's always stuff to learn, right? Take Gordon Ryan, for example. That dude trains 365 days a year. He's always learning. John Danaher talks about how he comes in and he can retain information. Like get good at retaining information. That's a skill in itself, right?
Coachability, retaining. How do you think people can best retain information?
Yeah. On and off the mat, studying, watching film, breaking down other people's matches. Check out my Instagram for for techniques.
Watching film.
Yeah, for sure. That and then having like focused training sessions, right? Where
What do you mean?
you're either, I like what Gary Vee says a lot. He says triple down on your strengths. So like definitely work your strengths. But also if you're working out of a position that you're not that good at, go and get into that position. Kill your ego. Go get under side control, or go get underneath mount on purpose and work out of those positions. Or go get into a fully extended arm bar. You know, there's a little bit of fear that comes with that, but how else are you going to learn how to escape, you know, these submissions or these positions without actually diving into the fire?
Being vulnerable.
Yeah, be vulnerable for sure. Have fun with it too, you know? Like it can get, you do hit plateaus. It can get kind of dull, you know? And that's
How do you get out of the plateaus?
You got to work on something that you suck at. Again, just having a training regimen where you have stated goals, and just check off those boxes, man. Write it down. Don't type it up. Don't have it on your phone. Literally take pen to pad and write it down. There's that you know, some mind connection where you're actually getting what's out of your mind and physically writing it down on a piece of paper. It's a little bit, it cements itself better in you than like typing it out or reading something else that somebody else wrote, you know. So construct your own training regimen, and only compare yourself to yourself. You know, there's goals to head for. There's mentors in the room. If they can do it, I can do it type of thing for sure.
So how do you balance that? Because I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with this, right?
Yeah.
So some people could be confused by, well, you guys just got done saying,
Yeah.
find somebody else that's good or doing
sure.
something, remind myself that I can do that too.
Yeah.
And that could be me. But then you're saying, well, it's really just you versus you.
In your plateaus, because I can definitely get into the comparison mind frame, especially when I'm in those plateaus, being like, oh, well, he just got real good over the last 6 months and she just got her black belt. But if I just compare myself to last week or to yesterday, last month, last 6 months, whatever it is, if I'm just looking at my growth and noticing that I am growing, albeit maybe a little bit small, maybe a little bit less than I'm used to, or man, I've been stuck at, like, I like to body lock pass. I've been body locking passing for like 4 years. It's my main thing, but there's times where I'm like, this is kind of like the only thing that I do. But man, I do it a whole lot better than I did 4 years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you do have to have a balance of where I can make it to where he or she made it, but right now, to get out of this rut, I just need to realize that every time I walk through that door, I'm getting a little bit better.
Love it.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Untappable White Belt program.
That's good marketing, isn't it?
Unbelievable marketing. Unbelievable marketing.
Yeah.
Who don't want to be a part of that?
So let's take it from a business side of things. White belts are the biggest conglomerate in jiu-jitsu, right? So you're appealing to the masses. I really, going back to like the basics, right? I made it to black belt, and the common denominator was, man, I focus on those basics. And if you break down the basics, what needs to come first is the defense. You know, you're going to get tapped out 10,000 times before you even know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So
that naturally happens, right?
Yeah,
defense.
Yeah, for sure.
In the beginning.
Yeah, you're always on defense, for sure. So if you're always going to be on defense, then get good at it, right? I'm not saying, even in your class structure, you're going to learn offensive positions and offensive submissions and all that stuff. But that's not going to happen before you're getting tapped out, before you're on the defense, right? So you can get, and like, think about the room that even you go and train in, doesn't it kind of like a little bit of a blow to your ego when you can't tap somebody out? You know, those are the most annoying people in the room, but those are also the ones that stick in your head. So like, be that person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Once you have a good set of a good defensive foundation, then you're not going to be as worried about being in those positions because you're going to know how to escape them. You're going to know how to get on the offensive, how to use that foundation to grow offensively. And you're always going to have to escape, right? Escape out of a position, escape out of a submission. You're going to have defensive concepts that you're going to use throughout your entire jiu-jitsu career. So really cement those as a white belt because you're always there anyway. So really get good at it.
So, I was saying today also, that's fire. That's great. I mean, who don't want to be a part of that program? That's awesome. It's so true.
I mean,
so true. I was saying, not many people, probably you really won't find any that accomplish anything really great and don't have some group of people that don't like them or hate on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd imagine, somewhere between the 3,000 and 33,000 followers, you had to have a couple haters or hecklers or, you know what I mean? Or any how do you handle just over, maybe if it's not even that, but, how have you handled haters in general?
Yeah, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right.
Right? Congratulations.
Yeah, right. Congratulations, right? You earned this. Like,
yes.
Because Joe Rogan said this a few times, but I heard it most recently. I think he was talking to Andrew Schultz, but he's like, he thinks of everybody as a baby, as like a child. And that's just like their inner child speaking up, right? A lot of like the negativity I get will be like, oh, that'll never work. That doesn't work. And so it's funny that they just jump to that conclusion because my response is always, well, hey, go try it and let me know how it goes. So a lot of the hate is just like this internal kind of false belief that, oh, that's not going to work. That's because they don't have a vision, right? And there's probably a little bit of jealousy in there.
For sure.
Like, and again, it's cool that I got, a following and I'm making these videos, but it's not that hard. And go do it yourself if you're just going to fire out some hate.
Right. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Teach us. I'm ready to learn.
Yeah. Put yourself out there.
Yes.
For sure. So I definitely like playing the weeds in the comments and fire
you do?
back.
Yeah. I was asking, do you ever get in it? You get in the mix?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It is.
Hilarious.
Because it is hilarious to me. It is hilarious that, some dude who's hiding behind a profile picture that's black is critiquing what I'm doing, So it's fun for me.
In the time that it would take out of your day to go do that.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. I've never done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do that.
So as I'm growing my following, the algorithm likes when you respond. So,
no doubt.
So I do respond. But man, like it took me I'm 37. It took me 37 years to get everything I ever wanted in life, which is a loving wife and a son who smiles at me. That could be a daughter too.
Yeah.
But like I have
awesome.
I have everything that I ever wanted in life. What's some jamoke in Iowa who's commenting on my, that doesn't matter. So,
no doubt.
So it's a lot of perspective. It's kind of,
I think it stops a lot of people from doing what they want to do because they're so worried about the criticism that may come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From putting yourself out there.
For sure.
Be it social media or whatever else. But I've watched a lot of people not do what they probably could do and sometimes specifically tied to social media that would help them grow their impact on others, because really it always just boils down to the value and the impact that you're making on someone else. You know what I mean?
100%.
Can you serve more coffee to other people and make their day brighter? You know, can you serve more jiu-jitsu through? All you're doing is serving more people. You know what I mean? You're serving more. If you didn't do it on social media and you just kept it, you know, local, you could serve that little pack of people. But how about serving thousands of people in Australia that you're helping, that are appreciating that, and what'll that do for their life, and all, you know, all that stuff. That comes at a price.
That makes it easier too. When I'm getting a little bit of criticism, but I could scroll up one comment, man, this is fire. I just hit this. Thanks, coach. You know, there's a lot more positivity.
We've had people
out there.
message us, man, and say, man, they were thinking about taking their life. And due to listening to the last, you know, few episodes, you know, that they decided to not take their life. I mean, we've had that probably a good handful of times.
It's all worth it.
You know what I mean? So it's like, man, I could take these trolls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could take this stuff
Yeah.
for these people that we can go out there and reach and go out there and impact. That's a
real impact. You save multiple people's lives. You just said. That alone is motivation enough to keep going. I mean, if you did that, if you put out 5,000 podcasts and one person said, hey, you saved my life from episode 53, it's all worth it.
Amen.
Right?
Yep.
It's all worth it.
Same approach I take with the kids, with the youth program. If you could just get a couple of them, you know, we're going to get more. But if you just saved a couple of those kids that otherwise wouldn't have, then it's all worth it, man. You know, you got kids and, you know, a child and a lot of changes, you know, in your life. You as you age, you know, you look at things differently. You start thinking legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you know, what legacy do you want to leave? Not that you're going anywhere anytime soon, but what legacy do you want to leave?
I was just talking to Jeff, looking for a space to open up a gym, maybe around here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's some empty spaces actually at your address.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely opening up a gym. Once I found jiu-jitsu, I found my life. I can say that looking back, when I first found it, I probably didn't realize that. I definitely didn't know that it would do everything that it's done for me. But, you know, I mean, you've heard it time and time again. I think you've even said it. Like, when you love what you do, you don't really work, right? So, that's jiu-jitsu for me. So I definitely want to open a gym, and it's more about helping people, building a community, building a safe space. For me, jiu-jitsu is way more than, you know, being able to beat up the next person.
No doubt.
It is. I said this in my black belt speech, man. Jiu-jitsu is my everything. I go and train when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I need to think through a business decision, when I don't want to talk at all, when, you know, I go. Like, if there's anything that's holding me up or really pumping me up and anywhere in between, I walk through that door, because it is just, it fills my cup. So I want to give back what I got, you know? And I've learned all this through jiu-jitsu. So,
love it.
So the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe something in the area.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe
yeah.
in this area.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll be cool.
Definitely. Hopefully by summer.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd
Wow.
be great. Yeah.
Right around the corner.
Oh yeah.
That's a perfect time to do it too.
It is. Seems seeing some spaces on Monday. But and then the real estate thing. Like, I don't think I'll ever stop helping people buy homes. You know, because that's another life-changing impact.
What are you doing with that stuff?
Yeah, that's my full-time gig. So residential real estate. And again,
What do you mean, selling it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a realtor.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So 95% of my leads come from the gym.
Okay.
It's amazing,
All
right?
right. So cool ecosystem.
Yeah. Again, I would have never. Man, I was selling welding automation 15 years ago, before I even found jiu-jitsu. I'd have never thought that it would have taken me, you know, planted me in these shoes today. So I walk into the gym, I pick up a lead, I go get training. My heart's full, my mind's clear. I go home to a loving wife and a smiling son. Like,
yeah, man.
Like, I'm good. And so the next step is open a gym. I think that'll help my real estate business as well.
No doubt. They could feed each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. And then just trying to reach as many people as I can through social media. I respond to every comment, every DM. Probably put out some more. Definitely will put out some more instructionals. Those have been going. Those are cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
So how would people, follow you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Tanner Hall BJJ on everything. YouTube, Instagram. I do have a TikTok. That one escapes me a little bit.
Okay. Yep.
And then yeah. Just,
so Tanner Hall. So that's TAN as in nephew.
Yep.
N as in nephew.
Yep.
ER Hall HALL BJJ.
BJJ. Yep.
Okay.
That's
At
me.
Tanner Hall BJJ. So
Yep.
if you guys want to check out that untappable white belt program and check out these videos, I think you'll like it. And obviously getting to know you a little bit more, you see not only the instruction that people can find value, from, but the person and the source is great, that it's coming from.
My man.
And so it's not about even what you do, is who you are.
I appreciate that.
And it's great to have you here, man, and appreciate you taking time away from
Yeah.
your life and your family and all that to come add some value, hopefully add some value to some people.
Absolutely. I mean, you've built such a great business here, and then your social media and your podcast. This was an honor for me to come on here. So thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Well, hopefully all of you guys got something good. If it added value, to you, share this with other people. Don't forget to like, comment, share, all that stuff. And we always appreciate you joining us. And we'll see you next time on the GRINDcast. Thanks for joining. Get ready. It's a new day.